as we're getting into the topic of surviving interruptions, how do you and Tim define what an interruption is? And I guess on a scale of functional or productive to disruptive, how do you determine how to label or how to classify an interruption?
So Perry's might be different, but for me, it's whenever the thing that you suddenly must focus on is not the thing that you had intended on focusing on. Let me try to say that better. When the thing that you need to focus on now is not the thing that you want to focus on now. How about that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I hadn't really thought about, sort of classifying interruptions, but, I guess there is a degree of interruption of some, if your phone rings and you look away for a minute and you deal with it, or a text comes in and you're only away from what you're focusing on for, a few seconds or a minute, it probably is easier to recover, though there probably still is some recovery time. But, the longer, the more disruptive the interruption is, probably, I would say it's harder to recover from that. And the techniques that we talked about in the book become more and more helpful, or in the paper.
And I like your internal interruptions. I think also you're in the middle of doing something and you suddenly realize that you were supposed to have answered that email or filled out that form or paid that bill, right?
Right.
Those are internal. But there's also, when somebody pings you because you forgot to, finish your timesheet, or there was a funny expense on the expense report, or it's a sales call or a potential future function that the system could have. And so, they're not all internal, but they come from every place. One might even suggest that they are inevitable.
Yeah. I call it a force of nature. I mean, it's going to happen. Interruptions are going to happen. And the more you can do to work, as the title of the paper is called, work to be interruptible. If you can create for yourself those breadcrumbs, if you will, that let you restore the context where you are, the easier it is to recover from an interruption, no matter how long it is.